STRHS News. Today we are doing a report on the rise of bullying in schools and the community.
We will be focusing on the bully, the bullied, and the bystander.
Bullying is about the abuse of power. Children who bully abuse their power to hurt others deliberately and repeatedly. Girls are more likely to participate in indirect relational bullying, such as rumors, gossiping, and social exclusion. Boys tend to rely on bullying to enhance their physical appearance.
Victims of bullying include boys and girls of all ages, size, and background. Being a victim of bullying can lead to the deterioration of the victim and can lead to them either imploding or exploding. In extreme cases of bullying, victims have resorted to violence toward themselves or others.
The bystander rarely plays a neutral role, although they may think they do. Depending on how bystanders respond, they can either contribute to the problem or the solution. They have the most power in the situation and can take away the bully's power.
We are about to take you on a tour that shows the raw and real reality that bullying has brought upon us.
I'm a bully.
Nowadays, the bystander.
The bystander.
I've been both. Before on the bus, I actually saw a kid on the bus getting bullied by a girl that thought that she was a lot cooler than she actually was. I stepped in, and the second I stepped in, she instead targeted me. But once I got targeted, everyone on the bus came to my side. And of course, if there's ever a fight, like everyone, I crowd around, but I don't stop it, and I will watch.
Because it's fun, and it makes me feel more powerful by beating up lesser people.
Small, like nerdy kids with glasses that can't see much for themselves.
Freshmen and kids who are smart.
Geeky. Like pocket protector, glasses, tight shorts. The really small, nerdy kid that's really good in school that doesn't have many friends. That one really big kid that thinks he's better than someone that pushes kids in the lockers.
Just like a big tough guy that thinks he's cool.
Less so now. When I first started, the seniors were very mean to the freshmen.
Seniors!
And they openly talked about initiations and things like that. But definitely the awareness has been raised, and we have less of it. But you know, we can't be everywhere, we can't see everything, so I'm pretty sure it's still going on. But I would hope less then.
In this school, not as much as others.
I'm not sure if it's the number one problem, but I'm sure it exists in some form or another. But oftentimes, people may not notice it or see it.
Of course, everyone has. Pretty much from like first to sixth grade, I was the odd one out. Like, when you're the odd one out, no one ever treats you as like a group or anything. Especially when you're in a Catholic school and everyone thinks you're Jewish. It doesn't work out that well. So that was never fun for anyone, mainly me.
I think the biggest thing is you've got to inform people that are bystanders, that see it. That it's not necessarily tattling, but they could let somebody know, whether it's a teacher, an aide, somebody that works in the office, just to let someone else know that it's going on. And that is often the best method in preventing or helping somebody that's being bullied.
It's hard. You really can't eradicate it. You can't get rid of it completely. But what you can do is you can create an environment where it's watched carefully, it's not tolerated, and that the punishment is swift, so that the consequences are known. I think what we're doing now with the freshman advisory is good. I think education is important, but it's tough, with Facebook and I mean, there's a million ways to intimidate someone and to get into their head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what bullying's all about. So I don't know if we're ever going to be able to get rid of it totally, but if you raise awareness and you act on it, then hopefully you minimize it. So I think we're on the right path, but you got to deal with it directly. In the old days, it would tell you just to tough it up. Tell you suck it up, tough it out. and that made kids feel isolated and afraid. And you have to do just the opposite. You know, my understanding is you have to bring it out into the light and protect the kids, and also tell the people there are consequences if they are bullying. So I definitely think we're on the right track. Of course, unfortunately, you know, the reason why we're on the right track is because all these tragedies, you know, that happened in the last year or two, kids committing suicide, and, you know, but,
we really can. Bullying, we can try to prevent it, but as long as like kids are bigger than each other and have anger, or they just want to like think they're better than someone, it's gonna happen.
Just have more people stick up for each other and have people be positive bystanders instead of negative.
Education on social relationships is primarily the method. Bullying has existed since time began. And it comes mainly out of fear of and ignorance. People who fear others that they don't know, or who are ignorant about different cultures, different aspects of life, end up bullying because they fear it.
My last name was Lamson.
I have, yes, but it wasn't, you know, as clear cut as she had made it seem. She was definitely a victim of bullying, but you know, I wouldn't say that she brought it on herself. But it was like I said, it wasn't a straight case of bullying. You know, there were definitely two sides to the story. But yeah, I've had students tell me that.
Yeah, and they're usually going to be the last to tell, unfortunately. You want them to, but oftentimes they would be the last person to inform somebody. So you need that friend or somebody who sees it happening to let somebody know, and that tends to be the best method for stopping it.
I did. I spoke to the other student involved, and then I went to the guidance counselor, and I explained the situation. So that's what they're there for.
No, any student who has a concern, I immediately bring their issues to the proper administration.
I wish I would have stepped in and done something about it.
Oh, absolutely. You know, if you're trying to demean someone or to intimidate someone, you're bullying them. You know, the other person doesn't agree with it. You know, you're not friends. You're not horsing around, and the intent is to denigrate someone. Then you're bullying. You know, so horsing around, you know, trading insults is one thing, in a good-natured way. I think, you know, especially boys allow you to do that all the time, but there's a clear distinction between that and bullying.
I think it's added a new dimension to bullying because it can be instantaneous rather than something that takes place over a period of time. This way, within, you know, 30 seconds, people have the same text message or the same Facebook post. I do think there needs to be some more controls on the social media.
I would think so. Yeah. I mean, I'm on Facebook, and even though I'm not friends with anyone, of course, you know, if you're friends of friends.
Yeah.
So you can see it sometimes on Facebook, people's responses. They're trying to agitate others. You know, I don't know what can be done about that. There's freedom of speech, and you have the right to associate with anyone you want. But I think, I think cyberbullying is an easy way to get into someone's head. You know, in the old days, you would go home and you were safe, right? You know?
No, you're not ever safe.
You're never safe, right? So, I mean, that's why I think it's more seriously, you know, I think it's a more serious situation now.
I think it's worse for kids now, absolutely, because you don't have a chance to be shielded from. You know, in the past, before any of the internet or you know, texting, you'd go home and that'd be a safe place. But now, you know, they're still being harassed even when they're at home. So I think it is worse in that sense. And it's a lot easier for somebody to do something online than actually face-to-face or in person.
On a broader spectrum, bullying is prevalent throughout the country. We have all heard about the extreme cases of Columbine, Phoebe Prince, and the recent Ohio shooting.
If you are just joining us, two young men apparently dressed in long black trench coats opened fire about an hour and a half ago at a high school just outside of Denver in Littleton, Colorado. At least 3 students have been injured and possibly as many as 8.
Questions for school officials in Massachusetts. It comes after the death of a 15-year-old student who killed herself after enduring months of verbal assaults and threats from her classmates. 9 students now face charges in connection with her death. But the question tonight, did the school do enough to protect her from the bullying?
A high school in Ohio today, the worst happened. The police say a student opened fire on classmates, leaving 1 dead and 4 others wounded, 2 of them in critical condition.
I can't even act. I can't pay attention for nothing. End of discussion. I just got that